your FPL Defenders guide with 3 players you should buy, monitor and avoid for the Deal Sheet series. Before we get into it, I want to announce that I'm going to be partnering with Sleeper for the 2024-25 season. Sleeper are a big player in the US fantasy market and they're bringing out 2 brand new game modes for this season, focused primarily on the Premier League. And I'm so excited that they're giving me £8,000 worth of prizes to give away to you guys. So let me know what you want to win. The FC Pick'em game is a prediction format where you can choose a result of a win for either team or a draw for every Premier League game, and each week you'll get points for every correct result. There's £3,000 worth of prizes for that one alone, so use the link in the description to this video to join my Pick'em League. There's also going to be another new game mode called Fantasy FC Draft, which is a draft game. If you're familiar with draft games, this one is so customizable, so you can battle with your mates in head-to-head every week. I'm excited to get started with this with my friends in the FPL community as well. And in this video each week through the season, I'll be mainly focused on picking out the best draft picks on Sleeper for every single game week. So watch out for that once the season is underway. It's well worth downloading the Sleeper app. Again, the link is in the description to that because it is a great place where you can interact with people with the community chat feature. You can also get your live scores on there and all the best football news. Building up the Defenders deal sheet then, and starting with the bronze buy pick, it's Brighton's Barco, who is the best 4 million option in the game for this season as things stand. Predicted to score 12.2 points over the opening 4 game weeks according to Hub predictions. Link to that is in the description as well. He is set to deputise for the injured Estupinan at the start of the season. He's been taking corners in pre-season. He's super attacking, so he's one that we really need to watch. Looking at the monitor bronze pick, I've gone for Everton's Mykolenko, who has been in a lot of my drafts. He's predicted to score 13.4 points over the first 4 game weeks. That's 9th among defenders at this price point. He's got great rotation potential with Palace defenders, Newcastle defenders, which is why he's been such a popular pick. But there are concerns around his fitness in pre-season that he's not been involved yet. And Everton are harbouring quite a few injuries and a few rumoured transfers, which could potentially weaken their defence as well. So I'm not quite as hot on him as I have been previously, but I am looking at him closely because if there's any potential, I think to get in that Everton defence at 4.5 million is a steal. Now, looking at the avoid pick, this one surprised me in terms of his popularity. It's Aston Villa's Ezri Konsa, only predicted to score 11.4 points over the opening 4 game weeks, but he's in 18% of drafts at the moment, so there's a lot of pre-season hype around him. If you look at the opening 3 fixtures, West Ham away, Arsenal at home, Leicester away, I can't see clean sheets in there if I'm honest with you, and Villa have lost Douglas Luiz in this window, who's going to be a massive loss for the club in terms of their defence potential. He's such a key cog in that side, so I think there are better options elsewhere. Moving on to the silver buy pick, it's Spurs fullback Pedro Porro, predicted to score 15 points over the opening 4 game weeks, which ranks him 12th. Feel like he's underpriced given that he exceeded this 5.5 million price tag at the end of last season. I feel like he's fixture proof due to his attacking potential. He's on some set pieces, he's got those routes to points through the goal threat, top for shots last season. He's got that assist threat as well through the set pieces. Clean sheets, while Spurs defence cannot get any worse. He is already delivering in pre-season, which is great to see. I feel like he could be a set and forget that you can lock in for the entire season. Moving on to the monitor list, I've picked out Liverpool's Andrew Robertson, who, according to Fantasy Football Hub, is predicted to be the top scoring defender over the opening 4 game weeks of the season, helped by Liverpool's favourable fixtures. Trent not far behind him, and you can kind of look at these two as a duo really, because they are players that have been involved in set pieces for Liverpool in the past. We still need to see how this plays out under Slot, but Robertson hasn't been part of the pre-season tour yet with a few niggles, so that's something that we need to to keep an eye on, but his creativity numbers in the final 10 games of last season were phenomenal among defenders, top for big chances created and key passes. So he is a player that could come to the fore. The AI predictions clearly like him, but we do need to look at how pre-season pans out and also whether we can expect any clean sheets under Slot, who is expected to be a bit more of an attacking manager than Klopp was. The avoid silver pick is Newcastle United's Kieran Trippier, predicted to score 14.3 points, which ranks him 14th, which isn't great for a defender with this top price tag of 6 million. 14% owned is a bit of a surprise though, especially when he's so heavily rumoured to potentially be leaving Newcastle United this summer. Obviously only just coming back into pre-season, having been heavily involved for England at the Euros as well. I'm kind of hoping he leaves, and that makes Livramento at 4.5 million a much better pick. Sticking with Newcastle then and looking at the gold avoid pick, it's Dan Burn, who is the most liked defender at this price point in the game at the moment in 23% of sides, but I can't see him being nailed for long. Obviously he was used for his great versatility when there were absences at centre-back for Newcastle last season, but when it comes to playing at left-back, there is heavy competition there for that slot. Even if Burn was to start game week 1, there's no guarantees he'll still be in that position come game week 3. So I think there's a lot better options at this price point than Burn, and his current ownership does baffle me a little bit. Looking at the monitor pick in gold, it's Arsenal's Saliba. 17 predicted points ranks him 7th among defenders over the opening 4 game weeks for that prediction, but Gabriel White and Calafiori are all higher than him in the predictions as things stand. He's the early bandwagon though, Saliba, in 41% of sides. He's not involved in Arsenal's pre-season yet, having been at the Euros, so that's a little bit of a concern. And I think with the strength and depth in Arsenal's back line right now, I don't think we can rely on any of their first choice defenders from last season being fully nailed. I think if you really want a slice of the Arsenal defence, you're probably safer going with Raya at the moment. So we need to see a bit more game time security for Saliba before we can lock him in at that colossal ownership and that much higher price point than last campaign. But looking at another player at this price point who is on my buy list in the goal position is Manchester City's Vardiol, who Pep made into a flying left back last season. He finished the season in incredible form with 6 attacking returns in his final 10 games, almost playing as a winger, plenty of late runs into the box. The shots that he was having in goal, there was a very high shot volume, and a lot of those with his feet. It wasn't just set pieces where he was a threat. So he's one that I'm really keen on for game week 1. He's already delivering attacking returns in pre-season. The one thing I want to look out for is, given that Grealish has had a full pre-season and Foden is going to be eased back in, Grealish could start the season at left wing, and he is a player that does hug the wing rather than Foden, who does come inside. So that Foden coming inside did open up a route for Vardiol to be more of a winger or a wing back. And if Grealish is in the 11, then that may mean that Vardiol is further back. So that's something to keep an eye on, but still 6 million for an attacking City fullback who is in a side that keeps clean sheets. He is a great option to consider. Here's the Defenders deal sheet in full then, and there's quite a few that we will be monitoring over the last couple of weeks in pre-season to see if they can come to the fore. Do make sure you're joining my Sleeper Pick'em League, link in the description. Make sure you're downloading the app and checking out all of those other cool features. Hit that like button. Let's get this one to 500 likes. I'm on the road to 35k subs by the game week 1 deadline. Thank you for watching.